Well, Charlie McKinney joins us via Skype to talk about a new game from Sophia Institute Press called Journeys of St. Paul, which I love. I just love the idea of that. Thanks so much for being with us. How you doing today?
Doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing great. All the way up there in New Hampshire, our great friends in New Hampshire.
Our neighbor.
I love New Hampshire. So, hey, before we jump into the game, tell us a bit about Sophia Institute Press, where you serve as president.
Yeah, so Sophia's been around about 30 years as a Catholic publisher. We primarily focus on Catholic spirituality. Our whole goal is to help readers to grow in holiness. And so any book that or manuscript that our team reads and we feel like it helps us to overcome some vice or grow in some virtue, we want to make it available to Catholics everywhere. So we publish about 80 to 90 books every year, focused on Catholic spirituality, apologetics, some church history, and only recently have we started getting into games.
That's wonderful. And St. Paul had not only a fascinating life, but actually a pretty dangerous one, especially in his encounters during his ministry. How does that translate into the game? Because I bet it makes it pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, that's why we chose St. Paul, because he has had such a fascinating life. I mean, not only did he cover so much in terms of theology, but he covered so much ground in terms of geography as well. And so when you're building out a trivia game, he's the perfect one. He's the perfect saint to build that around, because you can touch on biblical history, you can touch on theology, you can touch on geography. There's so much there to put together 400 questions about Scripture and about the saint.
Well, Charlie, what made you guys decide to start doing games? Because I think it's a great idea and so important to reach younger people. But what was the genesis of this?
Yeah, what we really want is we know from studies that the most important aspect that a child needs is a father's engagement in the faith life of that child. That's what is going to maximize that child's potential of growing up and becoming a practicing and active Catholic. And so we've created a number of programs, like we have a Family of Faith family catechesis program that we've created a few years ago. We've got about 27,000 families going through that. We created some jigsaw puzzles that are focused on the joyful mysteries of the Rosary. And this was the latest, because what we wanted to do was create some fun and engaging activities for parents to do with their children. And as a parent of 5 kids myself, I could tell you there's only so many times I can play chutes and ladders. So we wanted to create something that the parents would find enjoyable just as much as the children, which is why we settled on a quiz game. And each of the cards have a hard question and an easy question. So like I, as the parent, can be asked the hard questions, and my 8-year-old can be asked the easy questions. And so it's still competitive between the two of you, but you're both being fed, based on, in an age-appropriate way through an engaging game.
So this really is an all-ages game.
It really is. So we say 8 years old and up.
Okay.
How did you get involved, Charlie, in this job? Because it certainly is a job that is wide open, so many different things you can do. What attracted it to you, and how did you get there?
Well, what attracted me to Sophia Press was the fact that I'm a convert, and I read so many of Sophia books when I was in the process of converting and coming into understanding the spiritual life better. How I got the job was, well, Sophia was in some pretty dire financial situations at that time, and nobody else wanted the job. And so I took it. And, that was about 8 years ago. And thanks be to God, things have gone well. And here we are.
Well, that's just how God works, isn't it?
It is, yes.
So how can people, I'm sure everyone's going to see this and be like, I need to get my hands on the game. How can they get their hands on the game? And how can they learn more about all of the other wonderful products that Sophia Press offers?
Go to sophiainstitute.com, SOPHIA, sophiainstitute.com, and we've got hundreds of books and a couple games.
Charlie, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and keep up the good work. 8 years and counting.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Many
guys.
more.
Right, good
Bye
to
now.
talk to you.